to see you all here today. Thanks very much for inviting me to this lovely community. And it's really enjoyable to hear some of the really established piano players already. I heard some of the candidates are going to leave, so I like to just make a little comments and like reports and things I will compliments and sort of critiques a little bit, for everybody who just played. And hopefully you can all, let me know if there's any question at the very end as well. So I'll start with Olivia Clark, who just played the Debussy Children's Corner. Really well done, that one. I thought that despite you've started it twice, don't worry about the mistake, because everybody has blemishes, nobody's perfect. But I think I would suggest the next time when you perform, do breathe, and also sing the tempo you would like to play beforehand, because this will really settle you down the nerves. And if you just enter it, what happens with your right hand is just going to be a blur of muddy playing. And you want to make sure your right hand is to be clear and clarity rather than over muddy, blended, all those things in the pedal, which is not what we want. So it is going to be a bit of impressionism in there, but you don't want to be too bland, too blurry in there. So still, again, in terms of practicing, I would suggest you to still work slowly on your right hand, really slowly, and maybe in sort of rotation like you've done. You've got a really nice rotation, but it's just not really clear like you had wanted it. So, and in terms of pedal as well, so do use your ear to play, because you're so advanced right now, you need to be using more ear to listen to what you're playing, whether this is the sound you want, or is it just okay to deal with it, And I'm sure sometimes you're enjoying it, but not all the time. So I like you to enjoy it all the time when you play. Yeah, really well done, okay? And let's go back to the student Daniel Lee. Where's Daniel Lee? Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Daniel, okay. So yeah, well done over your rainbow, over the rainbow. It's really nice. I thought you started like a really nice pace, so the rhythm was really, really clear, and the musicality you're showing. There was lots of chords in your right hand. I thought these are really taking the most impact in the piece, because it builds up the connectivity of the phrase. So if you're banging the chords, because the way you penetrate the keys is really direct. So I like you to sort of starting to use your elbow a bit more when you play the chords, because this will just get the chords sound rounder than sound harshy like chopping. A lot of time we play the pieces like just chop, chop, chop. But I like the sound to be more round and produce like a massive chord that you want, and you can build up that rather than just hitting it. And that's really important, because the shapes that goes up and down, low and high, which is really colorful, and you can get people to melt. You can get people to think, oh, I haven't had enough of that, like that, because it's over the rainbow, so it has to be colorful. Not just red and green we hear. We have to hear all different colors. So that's going to be a bit of creativity in there. So you're also using your ear. Otherwise, if you don't connect the chords, you will sound broken. And then your Bach, I thought your Bach was really nice. But I would still say Over the Rainbow is more your style, because Bach is more difficult in a way. It needs more connection, it needs more connectivity. You've been playing where it's supposed to be holding, but you're letting your fingers go. You know that, do you? And in Bach, this is really important. You have to not let the note that's supposed to be holding you go, and you're taking it off, because otherwise the line is broken. So with Bach, they didn't really use a lot of pedal at that time in the Baroque period. So you have to use your finger connection to link it, not to sort of just leave it and then jump it, when you think the phrase is finished. But the phrase is really like continuously going from the beginning to the end. So that's quite important. So I like you to restudy that Bach if you can, especially the right hand and the left hand. Every single bar, there's got to be something holding in the bar. Not all the time taking it off, like you feel it's off, So have a read again, listen to the score, and you will see the line, which one's holding until which one, Don't let it go until the next note happens. So, Xian Yujia Wang, right? Okay, yeah, okay, so you had the Freilis, that's right. So I really enjoyed your performance. I thought you started at a really nice pace again, so it was really nice tempo. You had like rubato into it. Just be careful with the sound. So again, from you and onwards starting from the first student to you, I felt a very common thing with all the banging things that we had. I'm not sure if you all sort of agree, but this got to do with your arms and how you're not opening your arms. It's actually making you tense, and when you tense, the sound has become dead. It's kind of like going down rather than going up in the air. We want the sound to create and be traveling rather than going down straight directly. So when you play faster, it has to be clear. so your clarity is gone, when you're playing faster. So that's to do with your practicing at home. So I wondered, how do you practice? Do you practice slow?
Mostly, and then I gradually get faster.
You gradually play, okay, that's fine. Obviously, everybody gets slowly to play first. But how do you play slowly? Do you play in groups? Do you play in different rhythms?
Just for me, the bars you get stuck on, just that little phrase.
Right, okay. So what if the bar doesn't get stuck? You just let it go? No, that's not really a healthy way of practicing. You should be noticing, even if the phrase you feel you played it really well, you still need to go down and do it slowly. Making sure everything is the way you wanted to, how you want to treat the notes. Are they all clear? Because sometimes, when you play for at least, you're going to rely on your pedal. If you rely on your pedal, it's going to become blurry. So, can we actually hear it clear? That's the question, So do be careful when you play that. And also, because the Fides has a lot of main theme that's repeated all the time, coming back and again, like recapitulation all the whole time, I thought you could do a bit something different about it, rather than having the recapitulation sound the exact same way you've done the first time, because we are actually having enough of it after hearing it twice. So what if you can do something, maybe start the third time less, and then the fourth time a bit more, and then the time after that can be delayed, even more vibrato, and then that time after that, you can play a bit more furious, because, Beethoven, he himself is a very unpredictable, crazy person. So you have to play out his character, and that's not easy. So when you play for Alice, don't just think about, how beautiful it is. You have to think about the other side of him when he's being deaf. He's actually frustrated. So being frustrated, what can you do? So you're not going to be playing it nicely when you're frustrated, are you? So you've got to have to play out the character a little bit more, especially when it comes to the chords and things like that. Okay. And also, I thought you could use a bit more of your wrist as well to get the sound rounder. Yeah. Okay. Hi. So you had the Analdi. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that was a really nice opening today. We had something rather classical, not classical, but really nice, this melodic lines, and it's very famous tune, everybody knows it. I really enjoyed it. So again, with Analdi, lots of repetition, repeated notes, repeated themes. I thought you could, do a little bit more variation into the style, the colors, the sound of it. I just thought your pedaling can be better controlled. I thought it was a bit muddy and blurry because you're changing. I don't think you really change your pedal up completely. I think you just go up and down like you feel like this is piano like your home. But you see, piano is different. If you change a piano, you have to be able to tell from your ear. If that's a bit muddy, you have to lift the foot all the way up a bit higher in order to get a clean for the next bar, because otherwise it's all blended from the previous bar. You see what I mean? I'm just not listening. So I think that's something that you should be working on, the next thing. And then there are some wrong notes at the very at the end of this, the A, D, 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 A, D, E, F. You know this one here? D, this. That one. And then the last one is F natural here. You've been playing F sharp the whole time, and I'm not sure if you heard of it, so it doesn't sound nice with your right hand. So do check your score again. I think that's supposed to be 2 of the F sharps, and then after that is 2 of the F naturals. I'm pretty sure with that. But do check that. But otherwise, really well done. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. So hope the next half is also really with Enzo. Right, Enzo. It was a really accomplished playing. Again, really, really good, accomplished. I thought you were really confident and enjoying it. So yeah, I would suggest to phrase the piece a little bit more. So it would become a bit more dynamically interesting rather than just playing, because it's very quick, just a short one page piece. So in order to attract the listener to remember what you played, you've got to be doing something different in terms of like maybe a little bit more staccato when you need to be staccato, when you need to be legato, you're really singing to it. So we could remember what that was. Otherwise, they'll forget about it afterwards, So because it's so quick, you've got to be doing something quite special about it. So I think if you can restudy that score in terms of the phrasing, analyze it, because every time when we play, we don't seem to analyze it. We're being told what to do by teacher, but that's not really a healthy way of playing. In fact, we should be using our own vision and understanding the way we want to put into the score rather than being told to do. Being told is nice at the initial stage because we all need to rely on teacher. But I think we all have our own ideas, well, don't we? You know, we don't want to always be told to be playing forte, to be playing piano. We sometimes want to do something quite opposite or doing something different. So I want you to be a little bit more creative into that and do something special about that piece. Sedona? Yeah, I saw you in London, right? Well done on the Friday. So a lot of people playing Friday today. You had a very different type of playing Friday, so I must stress that you were really good with your rotation, which I really enjoyed. But I think that dynamically it can be more bold and creative. So I think this is something I think you can do in the next level. You can achieve easily since you're already having this style, you know, over the line melody. The next level is how to create them to making them sound more characteristic, more interesting, more like Beethoven, like again I was saying to the girl before you. So it will be more changeable, you see what I mean? So especially on the repeated themes. And your ending was especially lovely because you had a rubato land to it. So yeah, overall really well done. Thank you.